Patreon, Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and I'm not alone today. Well, I'm really never alone because Kurt's usually standing there. But I got somebody else with me. We got Brendan Nolan, who came down, and you have the honor of being the first guest ever in the reptile house. So that's pretty cool. I would ask him what he thought, but he's only been in here like, what, a couple hours now?
Yeah, not too long.
Not too long. But we're already doing some fun shit. So one of the things we decided to do, if you get here on a Friday, because you guys know Feed Your Fiend, we always post that on Saturday, which typically means we film it on Friday because we're never very far ahead. But if you're here and we're doing the feeding, we're going to let you pick some stuff to feed for Feed Your Fiend. And one of the things that you wanted to feed was right here, right?
Yep.
So what made you pick Reaper?
I've never worked with anything venomous before.
Okay.
And then he said, from Oklahoma.
He is.
And I'm from Oklahoma. So.
Yeah. He is a Stillwater. He's probably a Cowboys fan, being from Stillwater and all. I think that's where OSU is. So anyway, Emo, I'm going to have to retrain you. But let's go ahead and feed this. He'll take small to medium rats.
Okay.
He's been eating really good, so let's go ahead and try him on those big mediums there if you want to grab one. It's really easy feeding a venomous snake. There's a trick to it. One is, whatever side the snake is on, don't open the glass where he was looking right at you. And two, don't let your hand go in the glass. All you got to do is just toss the rat in like you're lobbing a little hand grenade in there.
Okay.
Just give it a lob in there, just like that. Close it up and done. And put this back on there. And then we'll wait. And what typically happens with Reap usually likes to eat from his hide, so he'll stay kind of right there. He'll come by like now and bam, just like that. Now you heard the rat. It's definitely envenomated. You can tell by how it acts. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but it actually tried to bite the plastic. And I don't blame it. It's going to freak out a little bit, and it's going to drop here. It's going to take a little bit, probably about 20 minutes. Most of that holler was actually from the fang and not the venom, I do think, but it is envenomated. Now, have you ever seen them get envenomated live?
No.
Okay, it's pretty interesting to watch. Not from like a, ha ha ha, I want to watch shit die standpoint, but typically what we'll notice is one of the legs stops working, and I always see the head tilt to the side. That's pretty par for the course. And I'm pretty sure if you look right there on the side, you can kind of see where one of the fangs hit. There's a little bitty blood spot. And so it definitely got thumped. Reaper has a bad habit of not pumping in a lot of venom because I think he knows it can't really go anywhere. So he'd rather kind of conserve some of that. But you can just watch them, they'll kind of lose balance. They almost look like you gave them a lot of liquor. Get kind of a drunk wobble to them. Well, this one's still got all its legs working, but you can see the head starting to go a little bit to the side. And now here comes out the snake. This is still one of my favorite venomous snakes. Since you were interested because he's from Oklahoma, I'll tell you a couple things that can help you identify when these come from further south in Kansas, because this is a native snake in here too. I've actually found these hit on my road, but they look different. The further south you go, you typically start to get a lighter colored snake. So that silver, which you can really see right now, comes out a lot more. Where in Kansas and the further north you go, they tend to be a little darker. I think it's just because the temperatures get cooler the further you go up, so they end up being darker to help absorb more light. Oklahoma, they're going to have a lot more lighter colors. They don't need that as much, and they almost need to not absorb it at times. So you have that going on. The rust stripe tends to be a lot more vivid the further south you go. So you get that, and then you can see how he has the stripes behind the eyes that are very, very dark. When you go up to here, they lighten up. When you go up to like Minnesota, they typically aren't even there anymore. So the further north you go in the range, the snake does start to look different. The further south you go, it looks different. I got some friends in Pennsylvania that work a lot with timbers, and they'll find them in colors there, like yellow, like a kind of a weird, not like a bright yellow, but like a kind of a muted yellow. And then they'll find like a greenish tint to them. They just typically call it booger green because that's kind of what it looks like. I've also seen timbers in all black. So there is quite the color range, but I don't know of anybody breeding them for morphs. Well, it would be kind of cool. And I have seen, I think it was at least one leucistic timber that was in a zoo. So they do have morphs. And there you can really see that head tilt to the side. So we probably won't make you guys watch this whole thing until that rat dies. So I'll be honest, it's going to be kind of sad and it's going to take a while. And that's just kind of how Reaper does things. He'll kind of come poke around on it and check on it. And then when it's dead, he'll eat it. but that snake didn't get that size from missing many meals. So that is a rather large timber. So, any questions about Reaper?
Nope.
Now you
I
saw.
I don't think you can beat the silver with the rust though.
No,
Just yeah.
it's a striking combination. Like that is this, is a complete wild type southern style timber, and this is like what made me fall in love with timbers. So when I decided to get my first venomous snake, this was what I wanted. Like more than anything, because I wasn't ready for a gaboon. Everybody knows gaboons are like my favorite, but I knew that was a little bit out of my comfort zone and my skill level. I'd worked with enough rattlesnakes that I felt comfortable working with them, and I really wanted a timber. More than I wanted a western or anything, it had to be a timber. And if I couldn't get a timber, my backup was going to be a prairie, just because of the size, being native to Kansas. So luckily it worked out, and I was able to get him. So, and when we got him, I don't know, Kurt, do you remember how big he was when I first got him?
Not like, he was pretty small.
Yeah, he wasn't very big. I think he was like 350 grams or something like that.
Yeah, I think 300 something.
So he was a young male, and he took to captivity well. And he's I don't remember what he was last time I weighed him, but he's pretty thick. He's also only ever struck at me, I think, twice. Once was when I was weighing him. He was getting pissed as I was trying to get his box to balance on the scale. And another time is we were doing a talk. We were doing a native venomous display at our local museum. And I had him there with a bunch of other ones. And he took a shot at me there one time too. So otherwise, he's never even tried. But now you can really see that rat showing a lot of the venomation effects. But it is going to take a long time, unfortunately. If I had one thing I could change about him, I'd make him speed the process up. But I just want him to be healthy. So I'll take a suffering rat to keep my snake good and healthy any day of the week. That's what that rat was born for. It just has the short end of the stick in life on that. All right, anything else on Reaper?
I don't think so.
All right, now you did get to watch several other venomous snakes eat already, and this is the one that's going to take the longest. But we did do the gaboon. We attempted to do our in-shed rattlesnake. That's not working. We're going to have to remove that. And then we're going to go to the zoo a little while and feed some more stuff over there. All right, guys, thanks for watching Feed Your Fiend. And when you come down, if you want to feed something like this, we'll do it. We'll see you next week.